Hello there, hey, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Alpha and Dragonflight Alpha and everything that's been going on. Since we did a kind of talky video talking about the Alpha and everything like that, there's been some progress. There've been some things that have happened that we want to talk about and I want to talk about, so yeah. But before we jump into that, guys, I just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me streaming World of Warcraft, patch 9.2.5, 10.0 Alpha Beta, and beyond, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. every single day. Right, so yes, this is going to be more of a talky and chatty and unscripted sort of video where we're just going to talk about the alpha and talk about everything that's been kind of going on with that. As I said, there has been some pretty major updates in regards to kind of the process and where we're getting at, and we have a pretty good indication of at least the month of alpha for Dragonflight, and it's going to be a really good testing period. I'm really excited for it because we have the talent trees, we have things like that, the new race, the new class to test out. It's going to be a long, I think it's going to be a long one. I think it's going to be a long testing period because there's so many things that need to be iterated on or tested or poked around with and broken to get this kind of expansion good, because really for a lot of people this expansion is the last kind of straw for them, and it is looking really good so far, but we haven't seen, you know, the actual game in action, and that's when it really is going to be important to see what happens with the expansion. So anyway, I'm just rambling. Let's talk about what's kind of been going on. So first and foremost, I believe I spoke about this before, but we're going to mention it again. We've actually only had one 10.0 build. So the 10.0 build does exist, it's out there, 10.0 obviously being Dragonflight, and that is on the WoW Dev CDN. The CDN is the Content Delivery Network, is how Blizzard push builds and things like that. So when you get 925, it's pushed through a CDN. There are multiple CDNs, there's WoW Dev, there's WoW Dev 2, there's tons. As you can see right here, there's an absolute ton of different CDNs, and the one we're focusing on is WoW Dev, which is an encrypted one. So yes, there's a build on there, but no, we can't data mine it or look into it. The most we can do is look at the build number and the fact that it exists. Now, one thing actually, speaking of the CDN, kind of staying on that, is they've opened up 2 extra new CDNs, WoW Vendor 3 and WoW Vendor 4. These are brand new content delivery networks, which currently do have a 9.2.5 build on them. However, I do kind of think within the next, couple weeks, we're probably going to see maybe 10.0 going on here, or another type of build. I think the 925 build is just simply just kind of a base. It's kind of a build they've put in there, and I think they will be developing probably some 10.0 stuff. We don't know what WoW Vendor is specifically. Like, some people in the data mining community think it's maybe something they send to vendors like Nvidia and things like that to show them the build, see if it can run on their hardware. But again, we have no idea. Only people at Blizzard really know too much about that. But as I said, the only CDN currently right now with a build is WoW Dev, and that's been on there since April 22nd, which was just after the announcement, and it's been a while. We haven't had a single build since then, which is really interesting, actually. One major thing, and kind of the biggest thing, and the reason for this video is last week on June 8th, the catalog. So the catalog is essentially just like how the list of games and things are handled on Battle.net was updated. The internal alpha for Shadowlands was renamed to the internal alpha for Dragonflight. Internal alpha, again, would be encrypted, NDA'd to hell and back, or whoever's, even if that server is on, there is no way we're going to be able to data mine or look into that, because that will be just, very specific flags of internal employees being able to play it. But again, we don't know if that actual build or that server is up at all. We simply know that the catalog has been renamed from Shadowlands to Dragonflight, which is definitely a massive step in regards to having something playable for people, and definitely a really huge step in regards to public alpha. My original prediction was alpha in June. It is now June. As of right now, it is June 13th. And we currently do not have that. We do not have any sort of public alpha or any data mineable build as of right now. Wrath of the Lich King beta is apparently rumored to be starting very soon on June 27th. That's the rumor that's been floating around. That was leaked by another streamer. So we're going to see what happens with that. I don't think there's going to be much correlation in regards to timing-wise with Wrath and Dragonflight. Blizzard have shown in the past is not really, they don't really care about crossing those two paths. So I wouldn't take that into account at any stage of kind of like, oh, they want to do a couple weeks of Wrath and then Dragonflight. I wouldn't even consider that. But I've been tweeting quite a lot about Alpha and things like that, and Towley, friend of the channel, Towley, you guys know Towley, obviously big streamer, he always seems to know these things, right? He always kind of teases and always has some sort of inside information, and from the sounds of it and from the looks of things, it's looking like, it's not going to be June, it's probably going to be July. I probably think he's right. You know, I think July, maybe mid-July, we're going to be probably looking at a public alpha, potentially, you know, just a small time first wave of like, you know, friends and family, maybe some content creators and things like that. I, for one, would love to get in, obviously. You know, nothing's guaranteed, so you can't guarantee anything in this life. So I'd love to get in that first wave, but if I don't, then that's just how it is, you know. But yeah, no, so first wave probably in July. That's my kind of prediction. As said, Towley is kind of teasing that. Through Twitter, through GIFs, you know, he doesn't want to say directly, obviously, but he just kind of teases it because it's just how he does. But that's fun. That's fun. I like it. But yeah, so July is probably going to be likely at this point. But that's, again, you know, subject to change. I think with Blizzard, these things, you can never kind of predict it. They never really know specifically. They just kind of make it, and then they're like, all right, let's go. I also do think that Dragonflight will be launching early 2023 with a long kind of alpha beta period to test all these things that I just mentioned. But other friend of the channel, Marlaman, of course, always hot on it with these things, runs WoW.tools, which is a massive help for the channel. As you'd imagine, we look at it pretty much every single video. So he has been tweeting about the internal alpha and the kind of renaming and things like that, and kind of talking about how Blizzard have kind of done it in the past. So he mentions about public alpha, and he says that it's been added to the catalog, of course. He kind of mentioned the order of things that happen before we get to public alpha. So he said, number one is a regular encrypted 10.0 build, which we actually do have. Then WoW Beta, which is another CDN, which is a public CDN, which is used for alpha and beta, being renamed to Dragonflight, because currently, as of right now, it is currently named Shadowlands, so that needs to be done as well. And then he says that 10.0 getting a build. So he mentions Shadowlands specifically here. So he said that Shadowlands had an encrypted build on February 19th, 2020, and then it had regular builds weekly. So once that first encrypted build came out, it had regular builds, and then on April 3rd, the rename happened, and then on April 8th, the alpha started. Now, he compares it to Dragonflight here, where we obviously got the build on April 22nd, but we haven't had any builds since, which is really unusual compared to Shadowlands, so a bit strange. And then he said about 1 and 2 hasn't happened yet. We haven't had the rename of the catalog, we haven't had the non-encrypted build, so we're still ways off, in a sense, you know, but these things can happen very quickly. We don't know what's happening internally in regards to builds. They could be much further along than we anticipate, but they just aren't using the CDN, or at least the public-facing CDNs, to kind of develop the game. So, going to be interesting. Going to be a lot of fun. I really love alpha testing and that whole period of, you know, data mining, things like that. And Blizzard have shown in 9.2.5 that their encryption is getting a lot better. And I hope there's so many secrets in 10.0 that we just don't know and we can speculate on and talk about and laugh about. And then, you know, when the build finally comes out, when the game finally launches in presumably early 2023, all these secrets are revealed and we have a great time of it. So yeah, I think it's fun. I absolutely love these types of videos. I think they're super fun to just speculate and, you know, get excited about the alpha and the testing and everything that's coming out, because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. Like, especially this one with a new race and class. Always so fun, especially in testing, because they're so broken. And yeah, the other thing I guess worth mentioning before we kind of wrap this up is pre-orders. Pre-orders have still not reared their head. There is a lot of encrypted things on, you know, in 9.2.5 that is related to presumably the pre-orders. One thing worth mentioning actually is really funny. We found this on stream. So if you've been watching the channel for a bit, I made a video about all of the spell animations for the Evoker that kind of popped up in 9.2.5 for some unknown reason. They are now encrypted again. For some reason. So they were unencrypted, now they're encrypted. Now I'm not saying, in fact I can almost guarantee that Evokers will not be in 9.2.5. At any point that the game is in patch 9.2.5, we will not have Dragtheer Evokers. They will come in pre-patch just due to the system changes, you know, the talent trees. They're not going to make an old talent tree for the Evokers just for the sake of having them early. So unless Blizzard are crazy and they do that, but it's very unlikely. So more than likely, Dragtheer Evokers will be coming in pre-patch, 10.0 pre-patch, once all the systems for Dragonflight come in. So yeah, don't expect Dragtheer Evokers with pre-order, at least not expect them the day of pre-order. But again, no pre-orders yet, no updates on the stables in Ogrim and Stormwind, which is really odd. So maybe that is related to pre-orders, who knows. It's all very weird, but maybe we'll get some big updates this week. We'll find out. That's the fun of it. But of course, if there is any big updates, guys, and they're worth a video, I will of course talk about them over here on YouTube or on my Twitter. I, you know, keep up to date on Twitter and talk about and speculate things. So if you do want to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MrGMYT. I'm over there. I tweet a lot. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, then please do check me out. Twitter's a lot of fun for me. I enjoy it as a kind of like nice, quick, update sort of thing. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. This has just been a chatty video. Let me know if you like this kind of videos. I like doing them, so hopefully if you guys like watching them, we'll make some more. But yeah, before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome. If you'd like to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members. And as I said, I'm now streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, patch 9.2.5, 10.0 Alpha Beta, hopefully, Wrath of Lich King Beta as well, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.